Just waiting for it. What's happening, people? I'm here with the relaunch of Let the Punk Talk, and I'm joined by a very good friend and the new British and Commonwealth champion, Ash the Flash Lane. So, Ash, tell me what life has been like since you've become British champion.
Oh mate, it's just been a whirlwind of emotions, you know. My head's been frazzled, completely frazzled. Like it's been non-stop with messages, comments, interviews, podcasts, the whole lot. You know, it's just been it's been a whirlwind, like I say, and it's been quite hard to get my head around it. Trying to stay grounded, trying to stay focused, which is it's hard because, you know, a week, like for the first week after your fight, especially a big fight, you want to have a little bit of time off to rest, relax, recover, and take your mind off boxing, because you've been so focused for so long on one fight. You need to just decompress, take some time. But I haven't been able to, because everything's just been boxing. So but I think it's kind of died down a bit now, and hopefully this week I can relax a little bit, get some more recovery in, and then I can hit training hard again next week.
Yeah, that's what happens now, mate. You've hit the big time with the British title. You're almost a somewhat celebrity now. You're a wanted man. Everyone wants a bit of Ash the Flash Lane.
It's taken 18 years to become an overnight sensation.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, it all paid off in the end. So, before we get into the boxing side of things, I remember watching your interview after the fight, and you spoke. It was quite a heartfelt interview. You spoke about your time being homeless, how you self-harmed, and so on and so forth. So dive into it as deep as you want, Ash. Like, tell the public, like, this kind of dark stage of your life. Let them know, because there's a lot of people out there that struggle, and your story's such an inspiration. I think that the world deserves to hear it.
Thank you, mate. Well, you know, it's a long story. I'll be here for hours if I was going to go into real detail. But it all started, you know, my dad moved out when I was 6. Stepdad moved in. Didn't have the best relationship. He was a bit toxic, to be fair. Had a bit of a toxic family at home, really. You know, my mum and my stepdad's relationship wasn't great. I didn't see my dad for 12, 13 years. And I was told bad things about him, which kind of like, you know, you shouldn't really be told. But here's what it is. When I was 18, you know, there was fights in the household. Ended up with me being moved out the house, whether I agree with it or not. It's another thing. But here's what it is. So I moved out, you know, I ended up, after a little stint to my nan's, I ended up sleeping in my car. Like I used to work as a bricklayer, so depending where I worked, I'd sleep in my car down the road from work. I'd either stay at a friend's, sleep on the sofa, on the sofa, on a mattress, on his living room floor, or after training, I used to go to the shops, get some food, and then head back and let myself into the gym and sleep on the sofa. And nobody knew about it. I mean, I was back in touch with my dad back then, but I didn't tell him. I didn't tell anybody, because it's a bit embarrassing to say that you got nowhere to live, nowhere to sleep, and you haven't got a bed. Like, you almost feel like people are going to look down on you. Yeah, you know, and like I say, it's embarrassing, and you can become ashamed, but it's nothing to be ashamed about. You know, we'll go through hard times, don't we? Yeah. But that was one stage of my life where I didn't have anywhere permanent to stay, and ended up moving down to Devon with a girlfriend. We broke up after a while, and then I had a couple of stints, you know, back and forth from Northampton to Devon. I ended up in Birmingham, sleeping on a friend's floor in his spare house. Didn't really have anything in there, like no electricity or anything. And all my clothes were just in black bin bags, like, and I was just sleeping on a mattress in this empty house, and I was on job seekers allowance. I had no money. I think I remember asking my manager and coach, Errol Johnson. I think I remember asking him after training one time for like just 3 or 4 quid just so I can get some chicken, because I didn't have any food in the house. I had nothing, and I think it gave me a fiver, so I could go down Asda or Morrison's, wherever it was, and get some chicken. I remember driving around like at night trying to find the shop so I can get some like rotisserie chicken. So I didn't have nothing, like, you know, I was on job seekers and whatnot. But I ended up getting in touch with Jamie Sandegard because they needed sparring for Lee Haskins. This is 2013. So I remember driving down because I was going to get off 50 quid to spar with Lee. So yeah, I mean, that was the only bit of money I was going to get. I thought I'd drive down, spar with Lee, collect my 50, and then drive back up to Birmingham and go get my job seekers, you know. Make a little bit of money. Just do what you do. You try and hustle, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I was driving down to Bristol, from Birmingham on the motorway, and my car, honest to God, my car was just illegal. You know, I had no tax, no insurance, 3 bald tires. I shouldn't have been driving it. But I wasn't. I was driving down, and one of the tires burst on the way, and I pulled over, and my head was racing, and I saw this traffic officer car pull over, and like this woman got out, traffic officer got out, started putting the cones down, and as she was putting the cones down, I was like, just you think of all the worst things in your head that you possibly could, and I remember being stood there next to the motorway, stood there next to the road, and I was looking at every car that drove past, and every car that drove past, I was picking which one I was going to walk out of in front of. So I was like, I'm going to walk out in front of this one. I'm going to walk out in front of that one. I was trying to work out which car, because I was in such a down dump in life that like I didn't possibly think anything else could go wrong. And if something else did go wrong, I didn't want to be there for it. I just wanted it to end, because I had no family, no friends. I was on my own. I had no money, no food. In my mind, I was about to be done for driving illegally. So I was like my boxing wasn't going that great. So like, I mean, like in my mind, I was like at the lowest of lows, you know, and I just wanted to end, really. So I stood there watching all the cars go by, and I was going to walk out in front of one of them, but I just couldn't pick which one. And the traffic officer, the woman, started walking over to me, and yeah, as I walked over, I turned around and I sat on this rock on the floor, and I just burst out into tears. She asked me what was wrong, and I just spilled my heart out to her. You know, I told her about my situation, and like I swear down, the angel was looking after me, because she turned around and like she gave me a tenner for some lunch, and sent me on my way with recovery truck. You know, I mean, she could have given me a point, she could give me a fine, she could have took me to jail. I don't know, she could have done anything. She didn't. She like give me a tenner, sent me on my way to the recovery drive, which was just amazing. And then I got to the recovery place, and my car's all clamped up and locked up, and it's going to cost me like an extra 60 quid a day to keep it there. So I'm pacing up and down, my head's racing, and like 4 or 5 of the guys, or recovery guys, all had a whip around, got me some money, and then one of them took me to the scrapyard, got me a couple of tires, took me back, we chucked them on the car, and I drove back down to Bristol. And it's just like, I mean, I was still in this depressive state. I was still really down, but there was a bit of hope there, you know. And these people took some real, like, they were really generous and showed true empathy and humanity, you know. Just to like, I mean, they literally saved my life that day. And I drove back to Bristol. I drove down to Bristol. I missed the sparring.
Yeah.
But it's funny because all of that to get down and spar. I ended up missing the sparring. And then on the way back up to Birmingham, I ended up missing my job seekers meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So I missed out on my money. But it it saved my life that day, you know, and that, you know, I mean, it's just incredible. Those people that took pity on me, really. But yeah, man, that was a real dark time. And then I've had other times where, you know, I was down in Devon. It was Christmas Eve. I received some letters from family members, which were really hurtful. I remember sat in my bed, rocking backwards and forwards, and the pain that I felt was just so extreme that I just wanted to end again. And this the one and only time I've ever done it. I actually cut myself because I just wanted the pain to go. But it didn't work. It didn't help. It didn't do anything. But I understand why people have tried it, because I tried it and they just don't work. So yeah, I mean that's just 2 times when I've been one time when I've not limited sleep, and 2 times I've been real down and, you know, in the dumps and suicidal. You know, there are other times, but I like to say I'll be here all day.
Yeah, mate. But that, you know, all's well that ends well, as they say, because you've had such a amazing career now, and you've achieved the highest of heights. And you know, there's people like me that call you my hero, and you know, I'm glad you're still around, because you've given me some incredible moments in my life. So, you know,
I remember when you come down to spar with me from London, and like you come on your own, and you know, I relate to that so much, because when I come down to spar with Lee Haskins, I was on my own, you know, and I come down to spar with him, and I was ill because I had a bit of a cold coming down, and I felt so crap going back up because I was still ill. And I remember coming down on my own and making that journey on your own to go and spar with someone who's a champion, and you know, it's a scary thing doing that. So to have the balls to go and do that on your own as well, without a team, without a coach, no one, on your own to make that journey, so the respect is just up there for you, you know.
Thanks, Ash, mate. Appreciate it. But so let's move on to some boxing now. So you started your career, and it didn't start in the best of terms. You started as a draw. You went on to win the rematch, but you obviously lost a couple and drawn. Your record was kind of somewhat 50-50, and you really did do it the hard way. You know, you fought people like Gavin McDonald, Carl Yafai, Brad Foster, Cash Ashfaq, Jordan Perkish, and these Josh Well. And these are people that, if you're involved in boxing, you really know who these guys are. I mean, some of them have become world champions and European champions and everything. So would you say, Ash, that maybe at one stage of your career, would you have considered yourself maybe even a journeyman of some sort?
I've never seen myself as a journeyman, because I've always known I'm better than a journeyman. I've always had the heart of a winner. I've never gone into a fight thinking, well, no, tell a lie. It's only one fight that I can think of that I've gone into purely for the money. And that was Cash Ashfaq. That's the only fight I've ever gone into purely for the money. Because at that time, in my own mind, I was retired from boxing, so I wasn't really first. I didn't care. But every other fight, when I lose, I've gone in because like the money might have been good or something. But I've always gone in with the intention of winning. I never went into the Ashfaq fight with the intention of winning. I went in there with the intention of having a little scrap, getting some money, and going home for Christmas. So, but I've never seen myself as a journeyman. Never. I know I've always been better than a journeyman. I've been on the road like a road warrior, but yeah, never a journeyman.
Yeah, that's good, man. So your first kind of touch at glory was against Brett Fido for the area title. When you won that fight, did you think that this was kind of like the pinnacle moment where things are going to start changing for you in your career?
No, not really. I mean, I always knew I was good enough to win some titles. I just didn't know what titles. And I beat Brett, and I was like, yeah, I'm area champion now. But I never thought it was going to change my life, or change my career or anything. It was just like, I'm a champion now. That's it. That's
Yeah,
wicked,
yeah.
you know. I feel good about it. And then my next fight was for the English against Ryan Farag, I believe. Or my next fight might have been Di Davis first, and then Ryan Farag. So I jumped in a 4 days notice against Davis. But the Brett Feeder, when it didn't change my mindset to anything. It was just like, yeah, I've won. And I still stand to this day. Not many people know this, but Brett Feeder is probably the second hardest hit puncher or hitter that I've ever been in with.
Yeah.
Maybe
Who's
even the
the
first.
hardest?
It's
Who?
the hardest is Brad Foster.
Oh, really?
Brad Foster and Brett Feeder, two hardest punchers I've been in with. Brett Feeder hit me with a right hook, right hand in the second or third round of our fight. I didn't know where I was. My head was gone. It literally, I saw black. I was up against the ropes. He hit me with the right hand. I saw black. Next thing you know, it all cleared out, and he was against the ropes. I
Yeah.
have no idea what happened in between that little spell. No idea. He hit me so hard. He hit me so hard. I swear I had concussion for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. And
Jesus.
Brad Foster's the only other boxer that's hit me as hard as that.
Oh, really? Yeah. So
Yeah.
just if I come back, I know to stay away from them two then.
Stay away from Brett Feeder. He can bang a bit, to be fair. You know.
Yeah. So after this, there was more highs and lows in your career, and you then got a shot against is it Michael Rabaletsa?
Rabaletsa, yeah.
Rabaletsa, yeah, for the Commonwealth title, and it was someone that you fought earlier in your career, I think in an 8-rounder, and you lost to him. So tell us how the rematch come about for the Commonwealth title.
Yeah, so I think it was a 6-rounder at Nelson in Cleveland on Tyson Fury, so the first fight, and it was a close fight. You know, could have gone either way. I mean, we definitely believe that we won the fight. But hey, look, home show, you get a little bit of advantage, don't you? So he won by a point. And then, you know, we became friends because we both trained and boxed for the Senegas for a few years before he moved up to Johnny Roy, I think it was, up north. And like I think this is 2017. I was meant to box Indy Sanga to defend the area title. I ended up, I was going through a tough time. I was working full time. I was dieting. I was training. I was doing the qualification, my personal training qualification. So like I had a lot of pressure on me, and I was making myself sick all the time because I was so afraid that like if I ate food or put on weight, I wouldn't make weight for the fight. So I was going through a stage of bulimia at the time of training for Indy Sanga. And a few weeks before the fight, I was in the shower and I had a breakdown in the shower. I just started crying and I broke down in the shower. The next day, I went to Chris Sanigar in his office and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm going to just take some time away from boxing, retire because I'm like going through all of this and I feel so stressed and pressured and I'm literally like making myself sick and I can't deal with it, can't handle it." So like they persuaded me to stay in boxing, but I took a couple of weeks off and I got back training and we decided I was going to go on the road. Just like be a journeyman. I've never had a journeyman mindset where I thought, you know, just go on the road, take the pressure off yourself and earn some money and have some good fights. So I was offered the Thomas Kingdom fight, 10-0, I think it was. And that was at 6 days notice, I think it was. So I was offered the Thomas Kingdom fight on a Sunday to box on the next Saturday. Made that fight. I went up there. It was meant to be a journeyman, but a few people told me, like a few people messaged me, said, "Look, I know this kid, you can beat him." So that instantly got me hungry, got me wanting to go and fight. So I got in there. I beat Thomas Kindon. Come back, happy day, celebrated, paid off a little bit of debt. Had a week off, and then as soon as I got back into training, literally, Chris come in and he goes, "Ash, got another fight for you in 4 days against Paulo Economides." So I think it was a Tuesday. He asked me to box on the Saturday, something like that. So I was like, "Okay, 4 days, cool, wicked. Let's get this weight off then, so I can actually fight." So it was about weight loss for 4 days. Went up there to box Economides on the Kieran Farrell show. Weighed in. Had a good. I'd sparred with Paul in the past, so I knew I could beat him anyway. So that instantly got me hungry to fight again. I was like, yeah, I can get another win here. So boxed Paul. I won that. It was a good fight, close fight. I won that. And then Chris turned around and said, "Look, you won two on the trot, another little win, and we could get you a title fight, a big fight." All right, cool, Chris. Yeah, nice, but we went beyond the road. But yeah, wherever you can get me. And then he asked me to box Andy Harris at 1 day's notice, just to he had a few pullouts one of his shows. Asked me to box Andy Harris. Yeah, okay, I'd do a day's notice. I boxed him up at lightweight. I was like, nice line. I won that. And then he said, "All right, Ash." Yeah, he said, "All right, keep in training so I can get you a big fight now." I said, "All right, Chris, whatever." Before you knew it, Commonwealth title against Rama Beleza.
Yeah.
And it was I was nervous because me and Rama Beleza, we done hundreds of rounds together in sparring. We trained, we lived in the same flats, we was good mates, we ate together, we worked together. So we were friends, and so it was quite nerve-wracking, but I was excited, and I wanted revenge because I shouldn't have lost the first fight, and then we know what happened. I won this fight, so won the peace.
Yeah, so revenge indeed, and maybe if Michael gets his career back on track, maybe we could see the third. Who knows?
I mean, you don't know. I mean, depends on the weight. If he can make bantamweight, why not? I don't know what's going on with him now. He actually messaged me the other day saying congratulations. He's proud of me, and that's nice because we had a little bit of rivalry, a bit of beef a few years ago when I was Commonwealth champion because they felt that they were hard done by with the result. I mean, it was a unanimous decision. But I mean, he messaged me the other day. We had a nice chat, and he's done some good things in boxing. And as a friend, I'm proud of him too. We got that mutual love and respect there for him.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of boxing, as they say. So you're a Commonwealth champion, and that means that there was big fights in line. We spoke briefly about Brad Foster for the British and the Commonwealth. We spoke briefly about Ash Fash as well. And then lockdown come about, and there was no boxing around. And then when we come out, you kind of even made flyweight, I think, didn't you? Super flyweight against Luke Flash. Yeah.
8-1 I was.
Yeah. And then we got the Jordan Perkish fight come about, which was, I guess, somewhat a massive moment for you because you beat Jordan, you become the English champion. And I remember I was literally, I think I was on the way back from training and I was watching the fight on YouTube. And it was like the first 2 rounds have gone on. And as I was walking, I've looked up. And as soon as I've looked up, all I've heard at my headset was, "Wow!" And I've looked down and Jordan was on the floor. And I was like, "No, I missed it." And I literally sprinted home and ran for the door. I was like, "Quick, Terry, put the telly on. Ash is on. So we watched it on the big screen. So tell us what the emotions were like when you were crowned English champion.
Oh man, that fight, it was nice emotions. I mean, that fight, there was so much pressure on me for that fight because I'd been an area champion, I'd been a Commonwealth champion, but then losing to Brad Foster and then having the time out of boxing, coming back, losing to Ash Fag. I know I only went in there for the money, but I still on paper lost. And I come back against 2 gentlemen. I kind of I wasn't really boxing much, and I felt like I was in no man's land. and I was in a who needs him club. You know, I had no belt, I had no substance, I had no momentum, I had nothing. So to get a lifeline against Jordan Perkins, who is an undefeated boxer, there's a lot of pressure on me, because if I'd lost that fight, in my mind, how I'd be seen by other people would be that I was a one-hit wonder. I won the Commonwealth, and that was it. My level done. I got lucky to win the Commonwealth. If I ever exceeded, that's it. I'm back to the drawing board, just go on the road as a journeyman. So there's a lot of pressure for me on that fight to win, to prove I was at a decent level, the level that I've always believed I've been at. So when I won, and I mean I've been going around telling everyone I was going to stop him in 7 or 8 rounds anyway. Yeah. So I kind of like I've looked like a complete idiot if I hadn't done it. Yeah. So like yeah, well when I won, it was like finally done it. Like I proved, well, I've shown that I'm definitely at this level. Like it was happy. I was satisfied and happy. I felt good to do it. You know, it was a nice feeling.
Yeah, man, it was a nice feeling watching it as well, mate. Because I know Jordan well. I'd done like loads of rounds for him, and I'll never forget that when the fight was made, one of my friends kind of sent it over to me, and it was like, "Oh, it's probably just another win for Jordan, isn't it?" And I was like, "Mate," I was like, "Don't write off Ash Lane." I was like, "I know Ash very well," and I was like, "This is Jordan's toughest test." And I was like, "Don't be shocked if Ash beats this kid." And then obviously, lo and behold, you did it, and you proved me right, mate.
It's like I'm a funny one. Like I think the mind is so powerful, because in the past, or when I had this 50-50 record, win, lose, I never really believed in myself that I could beat these kids. When I was against Josh Whale, I thought Josh Whale was going to wipe the floor with me, and I was surprised at how average he was, really. But by the time I realized how average he was, I wasn't really prepared for it, and so like I underperformed. And in the second fight, I made stupid mistakes, and which cost me. But like yeah, I've never really believed in myself that I was good enough to beat out of these kids until I changed teams in the last 2 years and started working with the right people. And my missus, she supports me, and she always talks confidence into my ear. Like, and now these last 2 years, I really do truly believe that I am good, and you know, I believe that I can go quite far. To be fair, I mean, some people might think I'm stupid, delusional, but you know, I believe I can win the world title.
Yeah, and then you should, mate, because you've already proved everyone wrong anyway. So, and you've already come far. Yeah, you will. I don't know, you will. So this now brings us to the big one with Chris Bourke. Funny enough, I was sparring Chris in the build-up for this fight, as obviously you know, and it's a funny one because the first time I sparred him, like it was somewhat of a 50-50 spar, and I gave like a good account of myself, and I was like, I think Ash has got a real big chance here, you know. And obviously I messaged you and told you that. And the second time I went down there, it was like he just upped in levels, and he must it was like close to fight night, obviously, and he must have been raring to go. And I was kind of like, shit, man, this is not the same Chris that I sparred the first time. And I didn't want to mess with him. Yeah, I didn't want to like disrupt, you know, take your mind off the game or nothing. And I was just like, oh, mate, like it kind of started to put doubts in my mind. And then obviously, you know, me and Terry was at the show, and you've seen the video, obviously, of me going absolutely crazy when you was victorious. But just
I haven't seen that bit. I haven't seen it. Oh, I don't think.
Oh, I'll send it over to you again.
Yeah, send it.
But yeah, just talk us through the whole fight, because from the viewing point, it was like the first 3 to 4 rounds, Chris looked like he was really on form and on fire. And I think I even turned to Terry when like in the first 4 rounds, and I was like, oh man, it's just not going the way we want it to go right now. But then it was just like the biggest shift of momentum come the 5th and 6th, and you know, we know what happened, but go on, you talk us through it, Ash.
Mate, we knew that for the first 2 rounds, especially, it was going to be, maybe even 3 rounds, it was going to be sharp, strong, quick, punching hard. So, you know, we knew that we had to install our game plan quick. We knew that I had to start fast. I'm not known as a fast starter. I never have been. I kind of work my way in after a couple of rounds, and I really get going later on in the fight. So starting fast for me was a new thing. I started. I mean, you can see if you watch the Perkins fight and then you watch the Borg fight, you can see a complete change in how quick I am. I'm straight on, out there, you know, I'm in his face. I'm like ready to go. I may not be as sharp reaction wise as people like Chris Borg, but I was faster with my pressure, faster with getting in there, faster with forcing and imposing myself onto him. So that was the game plan. You know, we knew it would be. I knew I might lose the first couple of rounds. It's what it is. I always do. Kind of. I'm not really fussed about it. It's a 12-round fight. You know, whenever it goes that distance, so it don't bother me. But the first 2 rounds, he won them. But I knew what I was doing. I knew he didn't hurt me with any shot. There was never a shot where I thought, "Wow, that he's got power. Wow, that hurt." I kept my hand nice and tight on my chin, by my head. So I knew his left hook was dangerous and his straight left was dangerous, but especially his left hook. So if you watch my right hand's tucked there all the time. If you watch me against Jordan Perkins, and kind of like my hands kind of moving and here and there. Against Borg, boom, they're there. Whenever get up close, boom, there, all the time. So, you know, he never really caught me with anything flush, apart from one beautiful left uppercut, which I have to, you know, it's like cracking. He slipped, boom, left uppercut. It was just, I got handed to him. That was a great shot, you know. I mean, I think I felt that one for days. But yeah, man, it didn't really hurt me. I mean, caught me with a couple, didn't really hurt me. I imposed my game plan. I knew the first couple of rounds would be tough. He'd start quick and start fast. But we knew that I would break him down. My strength, my pressure, my work rate, and my power, because my power's increased dramatically the last couple of years. From the way I've changed my training and changed my nutrition, it's just gone up. So we knew that I'd get to him. I thought it would be probably around 7 or 8, but like just after the third round, especially, I went back to the corner, and we all said he's shattered, he's tired, the pressure's getting to him. And when you see that and when you feel it, confidence shifts up.
Yeah.
There was the end of, I think it was the end of the 4th round or maybe the 5th round. I can't remember. It was 4th or 5th. Me and Borg were like toe to toe. It was like he couldn't get away from me, so he had to stand there with me. And we was banging the body shots in. And I think I threw a right hand to the head. As the right hand to the head, he threw a left uppercut to the body. It winded me a little bit. I can't lie, it got me a little bit. So, like, you know, it was right at the end of the round as well. It was toe to toe, boom, come with a good body shot. I thought in my head, I got to beat him. I thought I got to show him that I wanted more.
Yeah.
I want to win more. So I stepped around, boom. Like, I went, dug a real right to the body in. Bell went. I thought I won that. The shift in energy then, because I had the last say, the last word. And then like as the rounds went on, I started doing a little bit more of what we've been practicing in the gym. And if you're watching that 6th round, I think I did a couple times in the 5th round as well, but especially in the 6th round, I threw the double jab over on the outside of his southpaw stance. I threw the double jab, didn't land, but it got him into position for my right hand. As he moved that way, it got him into position. Double jab, I stepped across, boom, boom. 2 shots, like the shots we've been working on in the gym. It got him, it caught him, and we all know what happened. I jumped on him, and he had nowhere to run. He couldn't do anything about it.
Yep, and that was all she wrote, mate. And now we're
That's
sitting
all she
here.
wrote, but it went almost exactly how we planned. So very happy.
Yeah, I bet you are, mate. I bet you are. So speak to me about Lee Hashkins, because I know he's obviously the guy that trained you now, and you've spoken very highly about him. But I was quite shocked. I mean, I saw another interview, and I know why he wasn't in your corner, but I was quite shocked that he wasn't there. So, like, for those that don't know, like, explain the situation of why Lee wasn't in the corner.
Yeah, so since Lee's retired, we've been training together. We had 2 weeks before the Ashfaq fight. We did some pads. And that was I literally just did pads with them once a day for 2 weeks, and that was it before the Ashfaq fight. No sparring, nothing. So I mean, we didn't really have a proper. We'd never trained properly together. It was just a few pads. And then like we decided when I said to him, look, I'm definitely 100% making a comeback now. I can't retire on that loss. He said, okay, I'll train you. So 2021 we started training properly together. He trained me for the Jordan Perkins fight. But it's took him a long time to get his pro license to go in the corner. Hence, Kieran Fowler was in my corner for the Perkins fight. For the Borg fight, I've been training 2 or 3 times with Lee a week, so twice a week with Lee, and twice a week down in Western with Dean Lewis as well. As me and Dean worked together for when I was Commonwealth Champion before. We parted ways for a little bit, but now we're back working again. And it's really working well having Lee than having Dean, because they have been working on different things all the time. They have different styles, so it's fresh for me. You don't get any plateaus. You don't get any sense of boredom in training, because Lee's got a different style. Dean's got a different style. Lee talks different. Dean talks different. They got 2 different things. So I've been training with them both for the Borg fight, and as it happens, Lee was in Cardiff on the Friday of my fight doing his coach's license. So Lee couldn't go in my corner anyway. I think he's getting his license now, and he'll be part of the team in the corner from now on.
Nice, man. It's good. So my last question for you, Ash, then. What does the future hold now for Ash Lane in boxing?
I'm smiling, got a big smile on my face because the future's very bright. Very bright. It's not a long future, because I am 33, and at some point you have to step back and retire. But you know what? I feel young, I feel good, I feel strong and fit. And I feel like I'm only getting better and better right now. In the short term, I foresee a fight with Thomas Asamba for the European title.
What a fight that would be.
Definitely 1,000,000%. I see myself winning that. 1,000,000%. But also, you know, I mean, we've got talks about world titles and this and that, you know. And hey, look, I'm British champion now. You can get a world title shot off being British champion. And you know, we've had a few little talks and offers with people. Can't go into them, but you know, because I don't know what's going to come off and what's not going to come off. But all I can say is people are talking and deals are being done, negotiations. So, but for the foreseeable future, I'm definitely seeing this bright. Got more titles to bring, European, possibly world. And man, I'm very excited to be in some big fights.
Nice, mate. We're all excited to see what the future holds and what fights will be announced soon. So, Ash, before I let you go, is there anything you want to say? Anyone you want to thank? The stage is yours, mate.
Yeah, mate, for sure. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in to watch me box, supported me on social media, you know, some messages, comments, shares, wherever. Thank you to everybody who's done that. Thank you to my sponsors for their ongoing support, love and loyalty, my family, friends, and obviously my missus. Shell. She's like she's the backbone of my boxing, really, because she's such a big supporter in me and what I stand for in my boxing. Like, you know, she does anything for me. So without her, I definitely wouldn't be where I am either. So thank you to her, and thank you to everyone else. Thank you to the Punk Kid for having me on his channel. It's a privilege to be the first person on, and massive love and respect to you and your family.
Thanks, Ash. It's a pleasure having you on, mate. So we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for this amazing interview, and we'll see you next time on Let the Punk Talk. Peace.